Hello people of the internet, today we're going to talk about the story of Sinkster, and then we're going to move on from it forever. Hello again. Sinkster was made up of two people, just Jake Walmsley and me, Chris Green. We made a video called The Gay Barbie Song in 2006, I think it was, and that went a bit mad. It got 13.5 million hits total, I think, and we decided that after we got absolutely battered by our friends for what we'd made, we made more and more and more, and it turned into a fruitious time on YouTube back in the day when it just kind of started out, and things were going great. We ended up on a TV show called Lily Allen and Friends. We were in International Design magazine. We modelled for London Fashion Week for designer Kim Jones. It was great, really good actually. And then, unfortunately, things got a bit weird. Not between Jake and I, but between the people that we got signed to at the time. I feel that there was just a lack of communication from them and us. Yeah, it wasn't bad by any means, but it just wasn't constant. I just don't think that many agencies knew what on earth to do with YouTube then, because it was so new, and so we were kind of left to just do what we were doing, and I think they were just kind of going to run the metrics on it and just kind of take it from there. But eventually we parted ways with that company, which was actually Nigel Martin Smith, which is the former manager of Take That, very popular band in the UK, and we decided to just do it on our own, unsigned as it were, independent, and we were fine. We just were cracking on with it. We had our own website. We had like a live stream that we'd do every Thursday. We'd be in the chat rooms a lot on sinksterofficial.com. It was fine. And then there was another person that entered the mix, who was called Mark, and he was I'd say he was charismatic. He definitely would kind of fill you with kind of nice words and stuff and kind of pump you up. So from that, like, he's a hype man. And he approached us and decided that, you know, us not being signed was a mistake, and that there was a real chance to kind of make a better go at what we were doing. And so we eventually brought him on board, and he was okay. I don't know what I expected from this person, or from Mark, sorry. I don't know what I expected from him, but I never really got a sense of everything being quite right with it. And what I mean by that is I just didn't really trust it. My gut instinct was telling me something was slightly wrong with it. And I think at the time, you know, Jake and I put a lot of time and effort into Sinkster, but Jake had put in a lot more. Jake had put in hours of graft editing videos. He would regularly be the one chasing me to kind of come round for like a live vlog or whatever, because I'd forgotten, because I was in a bit of a mess, which we'll go into in a minute. Jake was really pulling the strings at later points in Sinkster. He was keeping it going, I would say. So for me, I feel that Jake maybe had more to lose in it. I don't know if that's fair, but I think that because of the sheer amount of effort that he put in compared to me towards later stages of Sinkster, I feel like that he would have more to lose in terms of his time and effort that he'd put in. Whereas I was kind of, I'd say I was probably slightly going off the rails a bit. My mum had not long been diagnosed with leukemia. My granddad had passed away. My mum had to go bankrupt because of her illness, and her and my stepdad had just split up as well, and they'd left. So it was quite a tumultuous time for myself, and I was struggling. I was really struggling. I didn't really have anyone at my home other than me, and I was only 17 at the time. And I think I kind of broke a little bit, and I think that I just kind of really struggled with everything, like bills and going to college and then Singster and stuff like that, and having to keep that demeanour, which was always like quite happy and stuff, which I was, you know, whenever I would go to Jake's house or just see Jake in general, I would be happy, I would be calm, I'd feel grounded. And I think that's a lot of the reason why our on-screen chemistry was so strong, was because of that kind of secureness, I guess, that I felt from not just Jake, but his mum and his dad and his sister as well. They were all really, that's just like literally my second family for years. So massive credit to them as well for slightly raising me. Not taking anything away from my mum at all, but you know, they did kind of help as well. So with that all in mind, I said to Jake, I was a little bit suspicious of this Mark guy, because we'd been going to singing lessons, we'd made some terrible songs that my friends still have on their iPods and their laptops just so they can play it to annoy me, and it felt like we were doing things for the sole purpose of making cash. And the other thing was that all the money that was made from these videos back in the day, never saw a penny of it. We didn't have access to the Google adverts bit. That was all Mark. That money was paying for our singing lessons, but I have no idea how much was ever made from there. I have no idea how much money he probably, I'm going to say 99%, just took from that, and that was that. So I said to Jake one day, I said, look dude, he said a number of things about himself, this, that and the other, and I've remembered what he said, and this, that and the other aren't true, and I'm very suspicious of that. And I basically came to the assumption that he was a confidence man, con man. And I said to Jake one day, I think either we drop him or I think I'm done. So ultimately it was me that called time on Singster, and it's my fault that it all disbanded, because I was in a very, very difficult place as a young man, or an old boy, and I didn't need any more stuff going on. And as you can imagine, at first, as a 17-year-old lad hearing it, Jake obviously would have found that a little bit difficult to hear, because he was putting in all the work. He was putting in like a lot of time and effort into these videos and stuff. And I'd kind of just said, you know, that's it, man, I'm done. Like, F this. And I can imagine that would have felt real bad on him. And so he decided to carry on with Mark, and I decided not to. And so you'll see from that, I made like 1 or 2 blogs on a YouTube page that I made afterwards called Chris Green Likes You. Jake split and made Jake Walmsley TV. And that really kind of was the end of Singster, but I think Jake did alright actually. He did alright for a little bit afterwards, and then I can remember it clear as day, man. I can remember he rang me and we were having a conversation. He said like, can you come over? Can you come to my house? Which was, you know, at the time I was a bit nervous because I'd not spoken to his mum or dad in ages, and I can imagine like again, like I could have killed the dream. And one day Jake basically said like, you were right in terms of Mark, like you were right. I just didn't trust him either, and there was these things that again he would say things that wouldn't come true, and this, that and the other. And so eventually he cut ties with Mark as well. And I think it was at that point that Jake was a bit just kind of fed up with everything, and that was the end of Singster as we all know it. So it was a crazy ride. And I'm still left with a sense of sadness that it's over, and that I think I'll never ever get the old YouTube page back, because that's all I want. All I wanted was all the old subscribers from Singster, so that I could make these videos and that they would all see them, and then they would know actually finally for 100% this is the real reason why Singster ended. It was because we had a con man enter into it, and I was a bit of a mess because I had a million things going on in my personal life that I couldn't control and or deal with as a boy, and that's that really. But I am here and I am making videos, and what I want to ask you guys actually is, do you like this? Do you like this setup, this home setup? Would you like for me to enter into a recording studio and a filming area and make different sorts of videos? And what I mean by that is basically higher end looking and sounding videos. It would cost me money to make them, so I would be trying to make money from my streaming, which I do on Twitch 3 days a week. And that's kind of the question I've got for you guys, is that would you like to see more of this, me and you with a webcam like old school, or would you like to see something that's slightly different with me doing vlogs in a studio setting? So I'd be really interested to know what you think about that actually, and if you could let me know down there, whatever. It was weird saying that kind of stuff now. I'd really appreciate it. I would appreciate if people liked my videos and also just subscribe to me in general, because I really want to do this again. I decided, and I talked to my partner, I was just like, I actually really want to go back to YouTube and make a crack at it again. And so I'll be doing this a lot more now. I love you loads, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.